everyone, this is Dr. Kalpana Chauhan. Today I am going to discuss about the introductory part of the sampling. Sampling, if we talk about in terms of periodic sampling, then the periodical measurement of a continuous time signal is called periodic sampling, or we can say it as the uniform sampling. By periodic sampling, a continuous time signal ST, say we are saying it's ST, can be converted into its discrete time signal. Here we have represented it as NTS. Meaning of N is here the number of samples are N. So we are saying that continuous time signal is here, then we are going for the periodic sampling, then we get the discrete time signal, and from this discrete time signal we can also recover the continuous time signal. So discrete time signal as NSTS, here we can representing it NSTS. So here TS is the sampling period. Sometimes the reciprocal of this, sometimes not, sometimes every times we can say this 1 upon TS is the sampling frequency or sampling rate. Here we have represented it in the input continuous time signal ST here. Then we are going for the sampler, then we get the output discrete NTS. How we got this signal? We have a continuous time signal. We have randomly taken a signal here that is continuous time in nature. Then we going for the periodic sampling. Then we get the sampled signal with the period of TS. Here each and every sample comes after time TS. Here first sample is at TS, then second is at 2 TS, then third is at time the 3 TS. Sampling theorem, what it's saying, that it said that for perfect reconstruction of a continuous time signal from its sample, suppose we have converted a continuous time signal to its sample, then it should be reconstructed from its samples. So that sampler is just a intermediate part of a processor. Then the sample rate of sampling frequency should be greater than or equal to Nyquist rate of the information carrying signal, or the signal is nothing but the message signal. We can just simply can say that sampling rate should be greater than or equal to the Nyquist rate. Now what is this Nyquist rate? Nyquist rate is defined as minimum sampling rate required for perfect reconstruction of a continuous time signal from its samples. This Nyquist rate depends upon the highest frequency component of the message signal and is expressed as Nyquist rate is equal to 2 times of the highest component of the message signal, that is F max. Suppose here I want to show that we have a message signal which is having the bandwidth. How we can show the bandwidth? With its frequency spectrum that we got from the Fourier transform. So here we have the maximum frequency component, the frequency spectrum related to this omega m, and this the F maximum from this omega m is 2 times, it is 1 upon 2 pi. That's why we have here 2 into F max. Now we are taking some examples. Suppose we have given a continuous time signal F cos 200 to pi t. Then we have to find out minimum sampling rate required to avoid aliasing. Here we can easily see that we have highest frequency component of continuous time signal here 100 Hertz, because we have this 5 cos 2 pi ft, and this f is the highest frequency component in continuous time, so this is 100 Hertz. And minimum sampling rate required to aliasing, we have condition that should equal to the Nyquist rate, and it is 2 into the highest frequency component in the continuous time, that means 100, so we get the 200 Hertz. So if we have sampling frequency fs given here we have given 400, then discrete time signal as TS obtained after sampling? We have to give the answer. So we have continuous time signal that can be sampled at frequency of 400 Hz. Then frequency of discrete time signal can be represented as frequency of continuous time signal divided by sampled frequency fs. So we get here 1 upon 4. So discrete time signal can be represented as f cos 2 pi fn, and here we have f is equal to 1 by 4. So we get the signal 5 cos pi n by 2. Third is in the same problem. If sampling frequency is 150 Hz and discrete time signal we have to obtain. So again we have just divided these frequency of continuous time signal to the sampling frequency, then we get 2 divided by 3, and the answer for the discrete time signal is 5 cos 2 pi n upon 3. Second example we are taking. This second example I have inserted in this because we have number of frequency terms here. We have these frequency terms here. So in general form we can write this a1 cos j omega 1t, a2 cos j omega 2t, a3 cos j omega 3t. Now we are just comparing the given signal with the standard form of signal frequencies for the given signals. So we get f1 is 25 Hz, f2 150 Hz, f3 50 Hz. In these frequencies, what is the maximum component is the 150 Hz. So the Nyquist rate, we just have to take the maximum frequency component and then multiply it by the 2. So we get the 300 maximum frequency component. Now we are going for the proof of sampling theorem. Proof of we have taken impulse train here. We have considered a continuous time signal st. The spectrum of st is a band limited to fm Hertz, and spectrum of st is 0 for omega greater than omega m, means it's band limited. What is the band limitation? I'll tell. First of all, see here we have a continuous time signal. We have a continuous time signal, then it is multiplied or sampled with a impulse train, and we got a sampled signal with the same time, periodic time by which we have given the impulse train to the signal. Here we have as we have seen that the frequency spectrum of the input is omega m plus omega m minus omega m2 plus omega m. That means it is band limited to the maximum frequency of omega m. Means beyond these values the value of spectrum is 0. So it is band limited to these frequency components, and the frequency spectrum of the output, or we can say the sampled signal, is represented here like this. Means we have here we have the band limited frequencies here, and at these places we have the sampling spectrum omega s minus omega s to omega s. Now let's take its proof. The process of sampling can be expressed by these mathematical expressions here. We have sampled signal s and ts, that is equal to the sampled input signal, continuous time signal, and the impulse train. We have Fourier series representation of delta t. How we can represent it? Delta t can be represented as a naught plus summation from n is equal to 1 to infinite an cos n omega st plus say bn sin n omega st. Here this a naught is 1 upon ts, and the integration from minus t by 2 to t by 2 delta t dt. Here we have a naught, because this is a naught, so we can put here 0. So we get the 1 upon ts. So an, if we talk about an, it is minus t by t 2 to t by 2. Here we have 2 upon ts delta t cos n omega s dt. So we got the 2 upon ts here. Similarly, bn can be represented as, because we have sine here, so we get here 0. So finally, the delta t can be expressed in its Fourier spectrum as delta t is equal to 1 upon ts plus summation from n is equal to 1 to infinite 2 upon ts cos n omega t. Now the sample signal is the, if we want to get the Fourier transform of the sample signal, then st in dot delta t. So we got the expression like this. If we going to expand this and now taking the Fourier transform on both sides, then we get the Fourier transform, Fourier spectrum, frequency spectrum of the sample signal like this. Here we have n is equal to 0 plus minus 1 plus minus 2, means the spectrum is spreaded on the both sides of the 0 axis. So in this case we can get three cases. The first case represented in figure 1. Here we have the this omega s. If this omega s is greater than 2 omega m. If we are saying this is greater than 2 omega m, then obviously we get a gap in between the spectrums. This is the oversampling. This is called as the oversampling. The second case, if omega s is equal to 2 omega m. In this case, if this is equal to 2 omega m, then in that case the spectrums are exactly placed on the 1 by 1. This is the perfect sampling. Now third one is the, if omega is less than 2m. Obviously in this case there is a overlapping in the spectrums. Here we have a overlapping. So this is called the aliasing. Meaning of aliasing is, it is taken from the word alias, means to overlap some or to hide some information. So aliasing will occur if we have omega is less than 2, omega s is less than 2 omega m. Consequently, if omega is greater than 2 omega m, then continuous time signal can be recovered exactly from the sampled signal. So this is all about the intro part of the sampling.